During the Day of Your Life map experience, you undoubtedly learned a lot about yourself and others as you discovered many thoughts, feelings, and actions that you may not have known you had. It's important to process and express yourself in order to bring closure to all unresolved traumatic events. The most effective way we have found to do that is to write a letter to the offender in each one of your events, including yourself, if necessary. The letter isn't actually meant to be given to your offender, however. It is just for you to process the event. As you process, you are linking the two sides of your brain, the logic and feeling sides, to bring final closure and understanding to your event. This is the time to get all of your thoughts and feelings out, to not hold back on anything in this letter. You can write as much as you possibly want. What's important is to link the logic and the feelings of the event, incorporating as much of your new learning as you possibly can to process your event to a place of closure in order to experience freedom and come to a point of peace. With a pen and a few sheets of paper at hand, you first begin by writing down the traumatic event number from your life map scroll and give the event a title. From the brain diagram in your booklet, you'll begin by expressing your state of denial, followed by the feelings that were associated with that. You'll then write about the anger that eventually grew and the feelings that followed the anger. You will then travel back and forth from the left side to the right side of your brain, going down each word in the brain diagram before writing about what you've now learned, forgiving your offender, and ultimately experiencing peace.
Dear Dad, I was 6 years old when you left us. I didn't really think you were leaving for good. I just thought you'd come back. But when you didn't come back, I lost my emotional needs, such as my sense of security and support. I felt confused, abandoned, lonely, and devalued.
Once you've written about the denial stage and the associated feelings with it, you proceed next down the brain diagram onto the anger stage.
It wasn't long before I grew angry because you didn't come back, and I just couldn't understand it, and I began to feel bitter and resentful, which resulted in a lot of temper tantrums.
Bargaining typically follows, which is best described as statements made from the thought of wishing or hoping that you could have or should have done something differently that you feel would have changed the outcome of any given event.
I started thinking that if I could have done something differently, then maybe you wouldn't have left. Maybe if I wore that cute yellow dress you always liked. Or maybe if I got straight A's on my report card. Maybe if I cleaned my room, you'd come back. But still, you didn't come back. And all the negative feelings I had before grew even worse. I felt incredibly ignored by you, which I realize now resulted in me having extreme behavior throughout my life. I defaulted to being over-controlling in many circumstances because of my feelings of insecurity.
Depression is next, which is where most people are trapped, unable to answer your prevailing thoughts and questions around your event. Not having clarity of knowing why it happened, as well as now having developed symptoms around this even, is enough to leave any person depressed, unable to attain freedom.
With these issues going undealt with over time, I became depressed. I was trapped. I didn't know how to get free. I didn't know that I was caught because of my inability to answer my own prevailing thoughts. I also didn't know that I was caught in a constant, incomplete state of grieving, and I was grieving because I didn't know what I lost. I've been struggling with depression for a long time now, reliving the moments day after day. I still felt angry and abandoned. I still felt unloved and undervalued and hopeless. I even became physically ill.
At this stage in the process, things begin to turn around as you now include even more of your new discoveries learned within your life map experience. We encourage you to link as much of your new learning to your event as possible, as it aids further in the process of closure.
But then, one day I got a chance to have the life map experience. I learned that reaching a point of acceptance is a historical event. I can admit that the event did indeed happen, but accepting it doesn't mean that I'm at peace. I still felt angry and bitter. I still felt unloved. But I've now come to know that there is a roadblock between acceptance and peace. That roadblock is unforgiveness.
Once you link the event with all your new learning and the process to forgive, you should be at a stage where you're finally ready to write the words. Peace comes once you've forgiven your offenders, releasing any offense that somebody else committed against you. It doesn't mean that what they did was okay. It just means that you are no longer going to prison emotionally for their offenses.
I understand that if you could turn back time, back to the day you left, And if you could see how it would affect me,
then you would have made different choices. I believe with my whole heart that you would have changed, that you would have been a part of my life to meet my emotional needs.
Dad, I am finally ready to forgive you.
I know that forgiveness doesn't mean that what you did was okay. It just means that I am no longer going to prison emotionally for your offenses.
So with all my heart, soul, mind, and will, I forgive you, Dad. I am finally at peace now, and it feels absolutely remarkable. I love you, Dad. Sincerely, Susan.
As you identify the offenders within your events and understand the process of the letter, as well as the terminology of the letter, you will get better and better at writing them. We encourage you to write a letter for every and any future emotional event and walk yourself through the same process so that you can stay free. Be sure to use the letter writing tool found in the booklet guide when writing more letters in the future. We're thrilled that you have had the Life Map experience, and we look forward to serving you in the future to help you reach your full potential and experiencing freedom while helping others do the same.